Folks, this is the Invest Now America podcast. I'm your host, and we have with us the absolutely brilliant and lovely Ericka. Is sis? Am I saying your last name right? Seward.
It depends on how fancy you want to be.
Okay.
Sometimes I say Seward, sometimes I say Seward.
Okay.
Either
But
way is fine.
I at least have the first name correct. Ericka. Is that correct?
Ye-
I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yes.
And so we're going to be talking to the sister today about some of the business things that she does and why she got into doing what she does as far as business is concerned, and some of her thoughts about entrepreneurship, entrepreneurs in the black community, business and business ownership in the black community. So, Sister Ericka, what are some of the things that you do as far as business is concerned? What are some of your services?
I mainly assist other businesses with their administrative needs. So if that means they need a letter created, if they need some graphic design, maybe they need some type of infographics or information to send out. I also do project planning, event planning, um, a long range of different things. Dealing with administrative services.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Most people I find are good at what they do, but they're not usually good on the administrative side and dealing
Mm-hmm.
with Word and Excel and creating documents and stuff. So that's usually where I step in to help them
Mm-hmm.
out.
Now, I know you. Do you have a full time job?
I do. It's
Okay.
a temporary one for right now. One of the contracts that I did have with another company, they kind of downsized and had to do some budget cuts and stuff. So I had to go into the real life working world for a
I got
while.
you. I got you. So what sort of moved you to entrepreneurship? Is it a particular event or just a process?
I started because a lot of my friends would ask me to help them with different things administratively,
Mm-hmm.
uh, like writing a letter or creating them a letterhead or just consulting them on how to do certain things or how to go about doing certain things, different processes and systems and things. So I had I was in a car accident some years ago and I had to take some time off from my regular full-time job. And while I was off, I was like, well, I'm not really doing much else. I might as well go ahead and make this happen and turn
Right.
it into something serious.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a friend, April. I think you know April, and she has used to have conferences like women conferences and business conferences and things. And I would mainly help her get her materials together, um, handle the registration, and including day of type situations. So I would come to the event, help out with registration and people knowing where to go, when to go, and things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just took it from there and said I'll just make it a actual business.
And who would you say are your clients? I mean, when someone's listening to you and they just said, "Okay, well, I
Mhm.
understand what she offers," but who would you say are your clients? Is it major corporations? Is it small businesses? Who are your clients?
Mostly small businesses. Um, the last client I had, they were a tech startup. They weren't a large corporation, but they were structured like a whole corporation. So I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't really consider them as like a small business. But most of my clients are small businesses and nonprofit organizations that usually need like program plans put together. They might need information sent out to their parents or participants of their programs. So it usually ranges between small businesses and nonprofits.
Mm-hmm. And you had mentioned event planning. What is that? Is that like you're planning fundraisers? I mean, what's event planning?
Well, my most recent event planning or project planning that I've taken part in was the Louisville Juneteenth Festival,
Mm-hmm.
which is a 4 day event. Well, last year it was 4 days. This year it's going to be much larger. But I normally handle the project management for that. We have a team of people who do different things. So I just create the project plan in itself, from the budget to tasks that need to be handled, keeping track of who all is on the team and what they're supposed to be doing, keeping them updated on things that they, need to do when
Mm-hmm.
they need to do them, keeping the producer on task. I think you might be familiar with Aaron Jordan, who with Black Complex. He's been over, well, they'll be taking over the Launch Louisville.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And I help him with a lot of his events, whether that means marketing, gathering marketing materials, creating marketing materials, um, the whole kit caboodle.
Okay. All right. And
Yeah.
and if someone wants to utilize your services, how do they reach you?
They can call me. My number is 502-802-8354. I also have a website. Oh, the name of my business is Agape Administrative Services.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can reach me also through email, agape502 at yahoo.com. And I have a website,
Mm-hmm.
www.agapeadminservices.com.
Okay. All right. And before we go into, well, let me just say this real quick. Folks, you're listening to Invest Now America podcast. I'm your host. Our website is investnowamerica.org, and this is where we talk to entrepreneurs and business owners. What are some of your thoughts about, black business development and things of that nature in the black community? I know that's a pretty broad question, but are there like one or two concerns that you have that you'd like to bring up in a couple
I
of minutes?
do. I'm creating a business plan template to market to other small businesses because I noticed that a lot of our Black businesses, they go from the idea straight into selling the product or providing the service.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much planning in between in the beginning stages. It's like we always want to jump into it and hurry up and, get out there and start doing what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I really wish that some of us would take advantage of a lot of these incubators that are out here, some of these other business courses or organizations that can help people with the smaller beginning step processes of actually having a business. A lot of people have a business, and I feel like entrepreneurship has become just a buzzword. It's a lot of everybody wants to do it, but it's one of those things that's not necessarily for everybody. Um, I like to say that I do what I do so that people can do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make cookies, you bake pies, I want you to do that and I want you to excel at doing that. But you might not know how to construct an email, to send an email blast out to your customers, or know how to maintain a list of your customers or contact information for your
Mm-hmm.
customers. So I like to assist with doing the back end type thing so that people can stick to what their talent is and what their skill is.
Mm-hmm. Now, you had said that entrepreneurship sometimes is a little bit of a buzzword. Are you saying that it takes a particular type of person to be an entrepreneur, or what?
Yeah, and it's not like an overnight success type situation.
Mm-hmm.
Some people get frustrated with entrepreneurship because they feel like they haven't reach success, but I think success is subjective. Um, if I'm able to, get through my tasks every day, I consider myself successful. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if I'm able to communicate with others and let them know, what it is that they need to do, and we actually get that done, I consider that being successful.
Mm-hmm.
So some people view success in entrepreneurship as making a lot of money or,
Mm-hmm.
selling the most products, but that's not always what it is. And I just don't want people to have a false reality of what entrepreneurship actually is.
Who are some of your business heroes, so to speak?
I follow Portia Ellis and well, their whole family. I really follow them a lot and
Mm.
support them. Um can't really think of who else offhand. Um
I've sometimes have noticed that with the entrepreneurs I know, the black entrepreneurs I know, I really wish they would read a little bit more. Sometimes
mhm,
they don't take the set the time aside to read. They many times they'll say to me, "Oh, I don't have the time to read." Well, you got to make time to read. And
yeah,
so
you
there's
do.
to that. You just got to make time to read. And one thing
Yeah.
I'd recommend as far as motivational stuff is concerned, I would recommend Dr. Dennis Kimbrough,
Mm,
Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice. I'm also big on encouraging entrepreneurs to read about other entrepreneurs,
that's
gain motivation and inspiration right then. Like I read, I don't think Ray Kroc wrote this book. I think it was written about him, but it was a book called Grinding It Out,
mm,
and then a book by is on A.G. Gaston, the Black Titan. And
mm,
like with A.G. Gaston, I was fascinated because he's out of Alabama. Didn't really have that much in the way of formal education beyond high school,
mm,
and yet in a very segregated and potentially violent situation, that man, he started an insurance, highly successful insurance company. He had a
mm.
restaurant, and of course he owned the very famous Lorraine Motel.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was later revealed in his books about him how he
Mm,
was giving money to the
mm,
a lot of the civil rights folks at that time,
mm,
and that's why King Jr. was at his motel. Oh, okay,
mm.
you
Wow. Whoa.
so it was that, and of course offering employment opportunities to a lot of black folk, where they may not be able to get employment
Mm,
elsewhere, but they could go to him, and he
mm-hmm,
said, yeah, sure, and I would employ you. But I think it's really important that we read about, you know, different folks like that to sort of give us inspiration and sometimes maybe even give us
mm-hmm.
ideas, principles, things like that. So, what are some of your, you know, are you looking to sort of upscale your business? Or are you looking to say, look, I'm comfortable with where I'm at right now? Or, what are some of your thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm. Um, right now, I'm comfortable with keeping since it's only me,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I'm comfortable with keeping a small amount of my contract clients.
Mm-hmm.
And that just basically means these are people who I provide them services on a regular, ongoing basis.
Mm-hmm.
So some people don't need things all the time. Sometimes, if
Right.
I can create you some documents or I can, handle what it is you need right now, you
Right.
can usually go off on your own and, work with that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, like when I work with Black Complex, there's ongoing work that I do on a regular basis. So I tend to keep that kind of small. I'm looking for some of those opportunities to kind of increase.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really good potential in those becoming more ongoing and
Mm-hmm.
permanent type positions.
Yeah.
But I do look forward to doing just some of the smaller work here and there. People who just, need simple things. I also do resumes. I also create forms, Google
Hmm.
Forms and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So,
Yeah. So you're just independent contractor, and like you say,
mm,
particularly for small folks like me, I can't afford to have somebody full time.
mhm,
But like you say, there are times I got to have something done. I don't know
mhm,
how to do it. So
yeah.
fortunately, I can pick up the phone and contact somebody like you and say, "Hey, help!" You know.
Mhm. Yeah. Most of my clients are men.
Hmm.
Uh, I find myself a lot of times with men groups who they have something that they want to do. They want to, one of my men groups is a organization called Hope by Hope, and they are some young Black men who they have a basketball league, but they also do like mentorship. They do some job readiness type of things, and they will just write out, on paper their ideas, how they want the program to look, and then I put it together in something that's organized and presentable,
Hmm.
because they're able to take that to supporters and investors
Hmm.
in their program
Right.
to give them information on what their program actually is and stuff.
Right.
So most people that I have as clients are usually men. They don't usually, have the patience or anything to sit down and do stuff like that.
Right.
And that's fine because that's exactly why I got in the business, is to
Right.
help people who don't have those skills or who don't, have the time or the patience to actually do those things. But
Right.
they're absolutely necessary because any business needs an administrative person,
Right.
whether an
Absolutely.
full-time assistant or not. Any business, I don't care what it is, they need someone with administrative skills to get them from one point to the next.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's been my experience. I've been doing it since 2010, and that's been my experience. No doubt. And it really became crystal clear to me. I once read a book by Gene Simmons. Most people know him as the front man for Kiss, and he
Mm-hmm.
wrote a business book, one of the best business books I ever
Wow.
read, and it was called Me Inc. And
Hmm.
he just basically, in that book, just basically said what you just said.
Wow.
He said, I can't stand doing this and doing this and doing that, but I
Right.
know it needs to be done. And this guy's dealing with multi-million-dollar contracts and stuff. So he'll
Mm-hmm.
hire somebody like you,
Yeah.
independent contractor. He'll lay out their expectations.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I expect. This is when I expect it. And, here's how much I'm going to pay you. The
Mm-hmm.
person performs, he pays them, and then he
Mm-hmm.
says, hey, keep in touch. I'll let you know if and when I need you again.
Mm-hmm.
And he's built, as many of you may know, I mean, a
Oh yeah.
hugely successful
Mm-hmm.
business conglomerate. I mean, he's into everything. But I
Yeah.
can tell you everything he's done. He's picked up the phone and called somebody like Ericka. Hey, do this research for me. Contact
Right.
this person. Write this out for me. That kind of stuff. Because he
Yeah.
can't stand that stuff. He can't stand it, and he can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so this has been good. I really enjoyed talking to you. Hope we can do it again sometimes. Maybe sometime go into more depth about where you see black business in the city of Louisville, and some things you think they can do better, and also
Mm-hmm.
talk about some of the great accomplishments. And tell us again how folks can reach you.
You can call me. My number is 502-802-8354. I have a website, www.agape, that's AGAPE, admin
Mhm.
services.com. My email is agape502 at yahoo.com.
All right, great, fantastic. All right, sis, I appreciate your time today.
Thank
Let's do it again
you.
sometime.
Thank you so much.
All right.